What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the third installment of the Berlin vlogs. As you can see, we have a lovely picturesque view behind us. Here we go. And in the far distance over there is the Brandenburg Gate. You can't see it from here. And then we have another German Parliament building in front of us. Today is quite an exciting day, as we're going to a German 5th Division match between Dynamo Berlin and AK Berliner. We're now currently just inside the Brandenburg Gates, as you can see. There it is once again. We're here for a walking tour. There we are waiting over there, the fam. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this walking tour. I did a bus tour last time, and I think the walking tour could be a lot better, as in, like, it wasn't my ideal choice of things to do in Berlin. But walking tours will get you closer to the buildings and places like the Berlin Wall, and you'll get to the people on this know a lot about their city, and also they do it for free. As in, yeah, it's like, you know, courtesy to pay a tip and stuff like that, but it is a free walking tour. So to do it and knowing that you might not get paid, as in, shows real dedication to the job and to the city. So Brandenburg Gate right in front of us. Learned some interesting things on the first part of this walking tour. Where we are in right now used to be no man's land between east and west, and in no man's land, unless you were a police officer or part of the army, you would have been shot dead. Also, here also is where Napoleon and Adolf Hitler marched along to show power to the people of Germany, as in their power, obviously, not the power to the people of Germany. And the statue up there was known as two names. Well, had two names: God of Peace and God of Victory. The God of Peace was before basically Napoleon took it to France for about 8 years, and then brought it back. Then about after 8 years, it was brought back, and that's when it was known as the God of Victory. And next up, we're going to the Jewish Memorial site. We are at the Jewish War Memorial. It is just a load of blocks, as you can see, but the blocks symbolise an X number of Jews that were murdered during the Holocaust. Currently exploring our way around the Jewish Memorial site. Now, what I've just learned is these pillars we're looking at here, top to bottom, the architect that designed all this got his idea from a Jewish cemetery in Prague, where loads of graves were stacked up on each other because the Jewish people weren't allowed to expand the grave themselves. So interesting. Maybe that's what inspired all these blocks and columns to be built here. As you can see there, we're just about to leave this car park. It's a car park, cars everywhere. Right there where I'm pointing was the burial of, well, not the burial, the Adolf Hitler's bunker where he committed suicide as the days of the end of the war, which is, you know, quite interesting, considering, you know, I thought it would be like somewhere, you know, more away from the city centre, as in the Reichstag is just like over there, and so is the Brandenburg Gate, as in you can't see it, but like it's really close. So I thought it would be more away from the city centre, as in, yeah. And another fact as well, as he wanted to be cremated, but the Red Army were closing in, so that didn't happen, and they buried his body. Can't remember where, but in the end, the Red Army found his body a couple of years later, 20 years later even. They buried it outside in Magdeburg, and then when the East German government found it later on, started to cremate it there and there, and throw it in the River Elbe. Interesting facts about his death right there. So far on this tour, I've kind of learned quite a lot about Berlin. I've learned about the Reichstag, Brandenburg Gate, and about what happened to Hitler after his death and his body. It's a really interesting tour so far. Like I said, I wasn't being mad on this walking tour, but so far I've enjoyed it. And next we're heading to the what was the Nazi Air Force Hall, I think. As I was saying, in front of us is formerly the Nazi Air Building. See the little hole, circly thing there? Here's one there. That used to be where swastikas were. It was also the building of the Democratic Republic of Germany, also known as the East German Building. For where? Well, East Germany. And there is what I'm told is where it was officially, became a country. East Germany, as in East Democratic Republic of Germany, and then the Soviets held that building for over 40 years until the fall of the Berlin Wall. It's crazy to think, how a building, as in just a regular building, had so much, history in it. As in first it was, owned by the Nazis, and then Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union again, but East German terms. It's crazy, and that used to be Nazi headquarters. That's where they planned their blitzkrieg of Britain, their bombings of Rotterdam, Coventry, everything. That's where everything was planned. It's it's just, I'm not Nazi or anything like that, but like, it's a nice bit of history. It's nice to know more about a city that you're in. You can see across from us is the Berlin Wall, dividing east and west. There was this, basically, it kind of like kept west out of the east and the east in the east. Yeah, kept the West Germans in West. Okay, West Germans out of East Germany and kept East Germans in East Germany. That's what the wall's for. It doesn't stretch that far. I'm pretty sure there's more of it somewhere. I think there's more near Checkpoint Charlie, which we're heading to now. But I don't know if we're coming back here at all on the tour, on the walking tour. But I say as a family we'll be coming back. Oh, fact about the wall. Salomon Kalou, former Chelsea player, who is now playing for Hertha Berlin, took a piece of this wall during the night. I think it was last season, not the season before, and was fined over like 400,000 euros or pounds, and he still got to keep a piece of the wall. We're back out exploring Berlin again after our 20-minute break, and we're coming up to what looks like a church. Our next two stops are the tour guide said squares in Berlin that weren't bombed or affected by World War II, as in they still remain same. He was saying Berlin quite not a very good looking city, but these parts were kind of untouched by the World War II, and it's still very nice. He also said if Berlin wasn't bombed, it would look like Prague, which means Prague must be a pretty nice city. We've now stumbled upon the square I was on about. Let's tell you a bit about the place for now. Over here we have the German church. Over here the French church. Back in like 1600s, I think 1700s, the Huguenots from French were run out of France by a Catholic king. So they came to Germany, where there was a law where religion was a-okay. You could be Muslim, you could be Jewish, Catholic, Protestant, whatever you wanted. So because of Berlin's nice hospitality, they built this church, the French church. And then, nice and big, nice and beautiful, the Germans got jealous, so they built this one, this church right here. And this is Das Concert Hall, which means, literal translation, the concert hall. Then in here is a statue of a famous playwright. Don't know his name, but it's a famous playwright. The square is meant to be what Berlin would have looked like if it wasn't bombed. As you can see, we're in a square at the moment, right behind me, and there's a square all around. This is the square where the book burning took place, and 120 years before, 127 years before, a rough crow went like a man who's burned books will eventually burn man. But that was in relation to the Spanish Inquisition, and then look, it eventually happened in World War II. Anyway, the tour has finally ended, and to be honest, it was a really enjoyable tour. I didn't expect to enjoy it, but I really enjoyed it in the end. I regret not doing the Copenhagen one last year. I learned a lot about the German history. I've given you guys literally everything I've learned, and it's been a really enjoyable experience. Our tour guide was really good as well. His name is Duarte. He's Portuguese and he supports Benfica. We had a nice chat about football there as well. Well, after getting lost in tube stations for about 5 or 10 minutes, we're just, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes away from the Dynamo Berlin Stadium over there in the distance as far as I know. This will be separate to the Berlin vlogs. This will be just a regular match vlog, so I will be vlogging the match in a different video and then continuing it afterwards. Well, the game was finished, and what a game it was. Good atmosphere. It was decent atmosphere. Both teams were, well, I wouldn't say both teams were in it, but Dynamo Berlin were the best team in the game. But I'm not going to talk any more about the match because you'll see a video for that later on, as in just the match itself. So after the match in the day in Berlin, we're on our way home now. As you can see, proudly wearing the Dynamo scarf on my neck at the moment.